up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I am actually taking a mental day slash sick day. It's just been a really busy couple of weeks, and I just wanted some time to really sit down, relax, and just feel better. A lot of my patients, unfortunately, have been really sick. They've had COVID, things like that. So just been exposed to a lot lately. Got myself tested. I'm not positive, so I'm very excited about that, but just wanted a couple of days to recover. And I thought, while I'm recovering, what would be more fun than just sitting down and filming a video where we read. So here I am in my little cozy reading corner with all the fall vibes, and I'm feeling it. So I also have my beautiful candle that we've lit too. This is a little pumpkin candle that I actually got to make, and I'm taking you guys closer so you can see the sparkles that are inside there from the mica powder as well. This is actually a candle that I got to make and design in terms of the scent, the container, the color, everything. We went to one of those candle making workshops and it was a blast. So today I'm gonna basically be relaxing. I do have a couple of errands I need to do. I do plan on going to Whole Foods to do some Amazon returns. I do want to take a solid 2-hour walk today, maybe go down to the beach if I'm up for it and I have the energy, but most likely we'll be spending most of my time on this couch with my cats and my books. I do have a nail appointment later today that I will be going to get the Halloween nails done. So that's exciting. But really just wanted some time to sit and read. So that's what today's vlog is really going to be. It's just going to be reading. I'm going to try and see how long I can read and go from there. We're going to set up a timer and see how this goes. So I also thought it would be fun to show you guys the stack of books I have for today on the TBR. So I do have my Nook here in case I finish the other books, so I will be reading on this. I have quite a few books that I have downloaded onto this, and I'm thinking the book that I would be reading next is Gothicana, if I get to it in this. I have about 2 hours of reading slash listening time left in the League of Gentlewomen, this is probably what I'll be listening to slash reading when I have some downtime and I just need something happy, fun, cheerful to read. Most likely I will be walking while listening to this, slash doing my errands. So most likely won't be doing too much more physical reading of this book. I did get a little bit of physical reading on this book done yesterday, but I'm loving the writing. And I think India Holton is a genius, and it's just so much fun to read about these characters in like this British London society, prim and proper, but they're scoundrel witches and pirates and crazy magic, and just so much fun. Perfect for the October season, but definitely more on a happy note. Then the book that I do plan on starting next, if I finish my other books, is Zodiac Academy. This is on my October TBR. It is the first of 23 books in this world thus far. Super excited to read this. I've heard such wonderful things. The print is perfect. The texture is perfect. Unfortunately, Nook does not offer this series on the Barnes & Noble's app for reading online. It is available on Kindle Unlimited for those who have Kindle Unlimited though. And then the book that I'm currently working my way through, and I'm more than halfway through at this point, is this giant, ginormous 683 page book, which is actually 5 novellas put together, and it is part of the Mind F series by St. Abbey. It's a very stabby novel is what I would like to call it, but it's about a serial killer who ends up falling in love with an FBI agent. I'm at a very interesting part in the book where some people know who she is, some people don't know who she is, so excited to see where this takes us. But yes, that is the plan of action. I am also getting my coffee ready, so just finished brewing that. Super excited about that. And we are going to be drinking it in the books and coffee glass, which is so exciting. I have added my sweetener. I have added a little bit of milk. I'm going to be adding more milk to this, and I'm probably going to start off with Audible because I'm also going to make myself a little bit of breakfast to eat. We're thinking something light, so like egg whites and maybe some veggies sauteed together. Sorry, I'm just trying to balance you guys on my little stand here. I am filming on my phone today. I could be filming on the tripod, but I'm just a little lazy to pull it out. In case you haven't figured out, that's the theme of the day. This sweater is so cute. It's from a recent Etsy shop collection. I will definitely link the Etsy shop below in the description if you're interested. There might be some other sweaters that show up, but I just love these little cats with their books and the ghost vibes, and just so perfect for October. And I love the color. I'm definitely more of a happy Halloween witch these days. So definitely enjoying that. We'll add a little bit more cold milk, and then I'm gonna add some ice because we are doing iced coffee vibes today. And then breakfast is probably gonna be egg whites with some sauteed veggies. So I'm thinking I'm gonna saute up some asparagus that we have in the fridge, along with some spinach and some onions and some, what am I trying to say, guys? Spinach, onion, and I also have some tomatoes. So I'm going to saute the veggies separately with some feta and then have it with my egg whites for breakfast today while I listen to the book, The Gentlewomanly, or The Society of Gentlewomen Witches, or whatever it's called. So I'm excited to read that by India Holton. Her books have also been on Book of the Month, so I know that she's obviously an excellent author. The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Something is basically the book that has been shown on Book of the Month, and I think it was 2 or 3 months ago that it showed up. So excited to check that out too. But without further ado, we shall get started soon on the filming. Let me see if I can find a timer, because I would like to time myself. Timer. So we are going to start with a 20-minute timer, and then actually let's do 12 hours. We're not gonna do 24 hours because I'm not cool enough to do that. I'm too old. But we will do a 12-hour timer and see where that takes us. 12 hours from now will put me at 11:32 tonight. So here we go. All right. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Bye. The timer is set. The books are ready. We're gonna hit start. Here we go. The candles are burning and the time has started. I am gonna get to listening/reading, and I will check in with you guys shortly. Breakfast has been completed. We have our lovely toast. We have our lovely hash browns, garlic paste, veggies sauteed over egg whites. And then we have our lovely coffee. And of course, we are still listening to the League of Gentlewomen Witches. Bon appetit. Hey guys, so far we have been reading for a little over 2 hours. Timer's at 9 hours and 47 minutes and 25 seconds and has been paused while we talk a little bit. I did end up finishing The League of Gentlewomen Witches. Absolutely loved this book. It is the second in the series, and the first book, I believe, is about 2 characters that are heavily mentioned in this book. They're definitely not prime characters, but they're definitely talked about in this book. So I think it will be fun to read their love story. Personally, it doesn't bother me that I read the second book in the series first. simply because I feel like with a romance, you always know where a book is going to end up. And it's the journey that's the fun part. This doesn't really refer to their journey of getting to where they were as much as it does refer to the fact that they're together by the end of the book. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to go back and read the first book soon, which is The Wisteria Society League of Lady Scoundrels. That's what it's called, I believe. So I'm excited to read that one. I think India Holton is a genius. Her writing style is absolutely hilarious. It's very entertaining. This was a solid 4-star read for me. Not quite a 5-star. I don't think it's like something that's going to live and sing in my soul forever, if you know what I mean. But it was quite good. It was very, very, very entertaining. The characters are very, very entertaining to read. I love the female lead. I love the male lead. Just a wondrous book. And that being said, as you may have sorry. As you may have remembered from earlier in this video, I did take a sick day today, and the goal was to just rest and read and relax as needed, with a possibility of trying to read 24 hours straight. This might be divided up over the course of the next 3 days, but I do want to really dedicate some time to reading, because for me, reading is also associated with laying on the couch or laying in bed and just resting and sleeping. So because of that, it will be spread out over the course of the next 3 days. But so far I have finished this book, just wanted to touch base on it. And then now we are probably going to be continuing. I don't know why I keep saying we when it's just me. I don't know why, but probably will start this guy soon. I'm excited to read this. I've heard wonderful things about it. Essentially it's supposed to be bullying, magical, academic, romance vibes, but what a lot of people had been saying is that it's like adult Harry Potter with romance, and I was like, that sounds like it could be up my alley because I love Harry Potter. Then I saw so many good reviews on this series that I decided to invest in the entire universe, and so now I have 23 books that I need to go through. So while I am excited to read this, I am also slightly overwhelmed by the idea of reading this because I'm putting myself into the world of Zodiac Academy. But I'm super, super excited. And just look at like the chapters, like as they start, they're beautiful. Like this book is so pretty. It's gorgeous. And I'm super excited to be able to actually sit down and read this book. So this, I think, will be the next read on the list. But before I really jump into that with the Audible app as well, because I do have all of these on Audible. So the plan is to Audible and physically read these books. I am still working my way through this book by St. Abbey. So this is probably going to be the next book I really sit down and tuck into. I do have some errands I need to run. I am planning on going and getting my nails done today. So I will probably be listening to Zodiac Academy while I'm getting those done. It's going to be Halloween themed nails, and I am doing Happy Halloween. So it's going to be pink, black, white, orange combination of sorts. So I'm excited for that. And then I am also probably going to be audibling this while I am there, simply because of the fact that physically reading while you're getting your nails done is difficult. So we will be reading this now. So far, I've finished books 1 and 2. This is a set of 5 books combined into one because it is a series. I have read books 1 and 2. I'm about halfway through book 3. And about halfway through this massive book. I'm on page 321. I believe there's 683 pages total. So I am, again, not sure why I keep saying I am going to be trying to finish this book today. And then possibly, if time permits, also finish this book. This will be the book that follows me on errands. This will be the book that I listen to while I'm at the nail salon. This will be the book that will be with me when I go for my walk. This is also the book that I will probably tuck into tonight when I'm going to sleep. But for the next 3 to 4 hours, I'm probably going to dedicate my time to this book and hopefully finish it up. And so the goal is, at least in the course of today, that I get to finish these 3 books. And then I am probably going to pull out the lovely Nook and read some books on the Nook. So I'm just gonna peruse on over and start reading this guy. Books 1 and 2 were excellent. In book 3, like I said, I'm about halfway through book 3. Each book is probably about anywhere between 15 to 16 chapters. So yeah, the book number 3 ends on page 373, and I'm currently on page 320. So I will check back in when I finish book 3 and give you guys updates on books 1 through 3, and then we'll tackle 4 and 5 after that. But catch you guys soon. Bye. Okay, so far I've been reading for about 6 hours, kind of in this position. I did have to take a break last night because I ended up going to get my nails, and then my husband ended up coming home a little bit earlier than expected from his business trip, so we ended up spending some time together. So altogether, I did about 6 hours of reading yesterday. The goal is to hit a full 24 hours of reading over the course of this weekend alone. So that being said, I will be starting the timer again soon to see how many books I can finish in a 24-hour readathon. This is Miss Taco, who is here in timeout with me because she is bullying our other cat and is being a little brat. And she thinks she's not being a brat, so that's why she's arguing with me on camera. But I'm sorry, sweetheart, you are a brat. And so just wanted to touch base and catch everyone up. I did end up finishing the Mind F series. It was excellent. Loved that book, as well as the conclusion. I think it was just epically written. If you're looking for a stabby romance, that's the way to go. Basically, again, about a serial killer and her relationship with an FBI profiler who works on serial killer cases. It was very well done, very fun to read. And that massive book is 683 pages, but it's all 5 novellas put together. So fun, fast-paced read. Seems like it's a lot, but it flies by. I ended up finishing the book within 2 or 3 days, and I physically read the entire book. We'll give more reviews in the October book books read. Where do you think you're going, madam? You are not going anywhere. So next up in the list is the Zodiac Academy. This book I am physically reading as well as listening to as I enter into this world of 23 books. Everyone says it's basically an adult Harry Potter vibe. So I am excited to read that. Ow! And there she goes. But we were able to put her in timeout for a solid 5 minutes, so we'll take it. I just started the Zodiac Academy. As I mentioned, I'm on chapter 4 or 5 so far. The girls just made it to the Zodiac Academy and are finding out about their fates. So should be interesting, should be fun to read. Excited to read this. And I am going to read it in the reading order recommended. So I'll be doing these 3 books, then the 5 books from the male fae perspective, like the boys series, then go back to the Zodiac Academy, and then finish with Darkmoor Penitentiary. I'm really excited for all of these books, so we'll keep everyone posted as I go. I do not see myself reading these 23 books only for the next few months, depending on how much I love them. We don't know. I do have other books on my TBR for November and December that are fall themed. So I'll probably do these books here and there as a palette cleanser as I go through those books as well. So I'm going to finish this guy off. And then once we finish Zodiac Academy, we will see what other books make it into the reading vibes for October. I do plan on finishing 12 as well. I started reading that as a novella by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who also wrote the Inheritance series. And then she also did the Natural series, which I think is absolutely excellent. If you're looking for a YA series that has to do with like FBI and crime solving and just fun little YA drama, that's a great series to read. She did it so well, but it's basically about kids who come from broken backgrounds that have given them the ability to have almost a sixth sense in a way. So one girl, like, she can detect lies. One girl is excellent with numbers. 2 of the characters are profilers, so they can get into the mind of serial killers and etc. And then one person is like a really good at reading emotions and things like that. So altogether, these kids are thrown into a house together and are forced to be in close proximity. There's love triangles, there's murder, there's mayhem, there's craziness. There's so much fun in that book series. So if you guys are looking for a fun YA series that would be potentially fall appropriate, I would definitely recommend checking out the Natural series. It is quite excellent. Some of the best YA books I've ever read. And so Jennifer Lynn Barnes actually released a novella of that series put in the future 5 years past where the series ended. So I just started reading that yesterday as well on the Nook. So we'll probably be reading that sporadically as well. So I will touch base with you guys as I keep going through this 24-hour readathon that I'm doing without it actually being a solid 24 hours straight because I'm old and I need sleep. But it will be completed over the course of this weekend. So in this weekend, we will somehow spend 24 hours reading, and I will keep you guys posted. So right now we're at the 6-hour mark. We're going to start the timer and then get back into Zodiac Academy, and I will check back with you guys soon. Bye. Hey guys, so it is Sunday now. Yesterday I didn't get much reading done, even though I wanted to do my full 24-hour marathon over the course of the weekend. And I did split it up that way because a 24-hour readathon in one day, I am too old for that at the age of 33. But that being said, I did want to try and finish the last few hours of the reading. So far, I have read a total of 11 hours. So I still have 13 hours to go. So hopefully we're going to finish that today, but we're going to set our timer. So here we go. Let me get to the timer going. So we got our 13-hour timer ready to go, hitting the start button on that. And we're going to delve back into Zodiac Academy. So I did end up finishing 12. Loved it. Very cute, very fun, easy, fun, fast-paced novella. Literally can finish it in like an hour and a half. Super, super fast read. And then I ended up finishing the Mindfuck series, which was excellent. Let me actually pause this because while I'm talking, I'm not reading. So we'll rewind that back to 13. But yeah, finished the Mindfuck series, which was excellent. I think I've already said that. It was a 5-star read for me. Loved it. We'll talk more about it in the reading wrap up for October. In The Awakening, I'm a little over a third of the way through the book. So hoping to finish this today and maybe even tossing in the second Zodiac book, The Reckoning, I want to say. I've heard that they find out what their class is in The Reckoning, so I'm excited for that. I did end up getting my Halloween nails done, so for those who like nail designs, these are the Halloween nail vibes. And then I like doing happy Halloween nails, so super duper love this one. I love that little skeleton and his castle. But yes, so ended up getting the nails done, which is also why I didn't read much during that time, just the novella. And so now we're going to have some lovely breakfast and start reading. I have my beautiful cat mug today with all the fancy cats and the gold hardware, and I'm absolutely feeling it. I'm absolutely loving it. And then we have some fruit, which I've already been munching on. We had some peaches, lovely sandwich, and some hash browns for breakfast today. My husband is teaching class right now, which is why you hear the drums in the background. So loving that. I am currently on chapter 9. We are reading from Darcy's perspective. Love how beautiful these books are. But I'm going to start jumping into the reading, so I will catch you guys soon. Here we go. Hey guys, just checking in. So as you know, we have been going on our 24-hour readathon. At this point, there are 9 hours, 47 minutes, and 9 hours, 47 minutes, and 51 seconds, yes, left in that reading time frame. So far, books that have been completed, The League of Gentlewoman Witches, the serial killer book, the Mind F series, which is 5 novellas packed into one. I was about halfway through both of those books when I decided to start this journey, so I have finished both of those. I have also finished the Zodiac Academy first book. I am now reading the second one. That first book took a lot out of me, guys. Like a lot. Let me tell you, when they say it is a bully romance, it is a bully romance. Like the entire school is after these 2 twin girls, and it's horrible. I've cried. I have legitimately cried. I sincerely hope that as the books get better, or as we get further into the series, they get better and that the boys redeem themselves somehow, because to me, the idea that these women are attracted to these jackasses, pardon my language, is insanity to me. I'm truly hoping it gets better, and I'm also waiting for the twins to reenact their revenge, which is why I'm continuing with this series. I can see why people love it, but I'm really hoping book 2 is better. From everything that I've read, it seems like book 3 is where things really pick up. So today's goals, with 9 hours and 50 odd minutes left in reading, it's 4 o'clock now. So I don't know if we'll finish all 9 hours today, because what would that put us at? Because I can't do math, guys. That's like 1 a.m. I don't know if I'm going to stay up until 1 a.m. to do this, because I do actually have to work tomorrow, and I have to see some patients. Tomorrow, luckily, is a lighter day, though. I'm just going to one facility for patient care. So between today and tomorrow, my goal is to finish the first 3 books in this series, if you will. And then after that, you're supposed to technically read the Ruthless Boys series, which is about the male phase. So maybe I'll read that next. I don't know. Or I don't know if I'm just going to continue with the Zodiac series and then read it in my own weird order, where I finish this and then read the boys and then come back to the Darkmoor Penitentiary series. But I definitely see myself falling in love with this series. I do think it can happen, but I have to say, based on the beginning of the book so far, I hate it. Now, what I have thoroughly enjoyed about the first chapter of this second book is that you do get some perspective from the male heirs. So I think between this and hopefully reading The Awakening from the boys' perspective, I'll have a little bit more respect for them, but at least for now, zero respect for any of the male characters. I think they all deserve to burn in heck. And the ones that can't burn because that's their house, then I hope they drown. I mean, it's awful how they treat these girls. And I truly have not read anything more despicable when it comes to bullying. Bullying is not okay. And anyone who reads this, if that's what you take away, then I'm severely disappointed. I don't think that is what's happening, though. I think people realize that this is insane. But it's truly a bully romance. Just putting that out there. But I have finished the first book, on to the second. I will check back in with you guys as things happen in this book. From my understanding, this one's supposed to be more fun because the girls are starting to learn more, and there's a lot of craziness that's actually happening politically that's probably worthwhile to the plot. But I'm excited to see where this one will take me. Fingers crossed it'll be somewhere good. And then hopefully we'll be able to finish The Reckoning, which is when they truly come into their powers and they have to face their tests to see if they actually are allowed to stay in the Zodiac Academy and all this other stuff. So we'll see how the first 3 books go. So we're introduced into the world of Solaria. And then if I'm up for it after that, I will probably read the boys' books. But 23 books in this world is a lot. And if it's this much bullying and the first book made me bawl like a baby, then I don't know how I'm going to be able to sit and just read these for a while. But I have a feeling some weekends might be dedicated to these books. But that being said, I'm going to get back to the read-a-thon, and I'm going to start this one and see where it takes me. So far, I'm on chapter 4, so I'm 43 pages into the book so far. This book is long. So this book is, I want to say like 500 pages or something. Yeah, 533 pages. So this is definitely going to take me some time. I'm also audibling/reading these at the same time. So I think altogether, I'm listening at about 3.25 to 3.4 speed because the narration is actually pretty slow. So I feel like it's easy for me to listen at that speed and keep up with the book as long as I have the physical copy in my hand. So the goal is to finish this, and then we are also going to be finishing The Reckoning hopefully today. So the goal is to finish books 1, 2, and 3. Once books 1, 2, and 3 are done, according to the reading order, then you're supposed to read the Ruthless Boys series, which is 5 books. And then after that, you're supposed to go back to The Awakening from the boys' perspective and then continue the series along with the novellas here and there. And then from there, you're supposed to read the Darkmoor Penitentiary, which is about what's going on post all of this Solarian stuff that's happening. So should be interesting to see what happens. I can definitely see why people are saying it's like Harry Potter for adults with like dark romance and bullying and all this kind of stuff. But I'm really hoping the bullying gets better, and I'm hoping the romance becomes more plausible, because right now it's just truly making me mad. But we'll see what happens. So gonna read this, and then I have some other books that I have on my TBR. I still need to finish from the original October TBR, Filthy Rich Fae. So that will be read most likely on the plane when I actually leave for my work conference in a week or so. But right now, not on the list. And then eventually I will be able to do an October reading wrap up for you guys. But yeah. Also, if you guys are enjoying this and you like seeing what I can do in terms of reading in 24 hours, which is really for me like 8 hours divided up over 3 days in the course of a weekend, then definitely let me know. I will probably do one of these in November potentially, and I could also potentially do one of these in December if you're interested. So definitely leave comments below if that's something you like. But I'm gonna get back to reading. All right, guys, catch you soon. Yeah. Okay, checking in again as we're going through our 24-hour read-a-thon. Currently, I have 5 hours, 23 minutes, and 30 seconds left in the current reading. And we just finished Zodiac Academy's Ruthless Fae. This book is a total of 533 pages. I have to say this was excellent compared to the first one. First one broke my heart. This one's hilarious. I love how the Vega twins start reenacting their revenge plots. I love the fact that they show no mercy and they emerge from the flames without being burned. And at the very, very end, the fight scene that happens where they really come into their power was super cool to see as well. And so now I will be starting the Reckoning, probably ending our 24-hour read-a-thon with that book. And I have 5 hours of reading time left. It is 9 o'clock right now, so I don't see myself staying up until 2 a.m. to finish reading, just because I do have to go see patients tomorrow morning. So the plan as of right now is to probably read until 11:30-ish, maybe midnight my time, and then planning on getting ready for some bedtime and going to see patients tomorrow. But I will complete the last few hours of the 24-hour read-a-thon. Maybe one day I can do a true 24-hour read-a-thon where I start at like 8 a.m. one day and finish at 8 a.m. the next day, but quite frankly, I just don't see myself having the capacity to stay up all night long, because I'm old, guys. I'm really old. So that being said, it may not happen, but this was definitely much better than the first book. The bullying is still definitely present, but I do think it was a lot more tolerable in this one. The first book was just aggressively mean, and I think it was really hard to swallow. But this one is good, and I'm so glad the Vega twins chose to stay at the Zodiac Academy. The romance is also building up between the different characters, so curious to see where that will take us as well. But just wanted to catch you up on what's going on so far. So we're gonna jump into the third one now, and I will get back to you with results on that book soon. Bye, guys. So here is book 3, guys. Can't wait to jump in. So I'm gonna read the back just because the backs of these are actually really fun. The answer to your question will be revealed on the lunar eclipse. But when finding the truth, don't let the shadows take you. The week of the reckoning has begun. The senior students have been tasked with making the freshmen's lives pure hell as we prepare to take the assessment that will decide whether we stay at Zodiac Academy or lose our places here forever. With the lunar eclipse on the horizon, my sister and I have more to worry about than just passing our exams. A dark plot is unfolding and the shadows are drawing closer. It looks like our enemies could be more powerful than we ever realized. So super, super, super excited to read this. I think we'll get a little bit more of the politics in this book too. So I'm excited to see what that has to offer. And I think This one's about the same number of pages as the previous book. So this one is, no, I lied. It's a little bit longer. So this one is 635 pages long. So hopefully you should be able to get through this in the next 5 hours or so that's left in our reading time frame. And then that would put us at all the books for the 24-hour readathon, which would essentially be half of the League of Gentlewomen Witches, a little over half so like 2/3 of the Mind F series by St. Abbey. Excellent books, I should say. And then it would be The Awakening from Zodiac Academy, Ruthless Fit from Zodiac Academy, and then this one, which is The Reckoning. So excited to jump into this as we go into our 24-hour readathon. And then I think over the course of the next week, I will probably tackle the Ruthless Boys series, because that's what's supposed to be read next. And then The Awakening as told by the boys. And then I think we jump back into the Zodiac Academy along with the novellas. And then we get into the Darkmoor Penitentiary series. So excited to see where that goes, but this is a lot of books, guys. This is 23 books. So are we going to be able to finish 23 books in 7 days? Probably not. But I think if I really put my energy into these, between Audible, listening to them when I'm going to work and coming back from work, etc., as well as giving it a solid like 2 hours of time when I come home, meaning like an hour of exercise time, like walking outside, which I have not been doing recently. So I really need to get back on that because I haven't been feeling well, but I do want to actually get back onto my workout schedules as well, which includes a little bit of yoga, a little bit of lifting, and at least a 2-mile walk every day. If I can get back to that, then that should give me some time to listen to the books as well. So I'm really hoping I can average a book a day. So fingers crossed, by the time we hit the end of October, fingers crossed, I should be able to get through all of the Ruthless Boys series, which is 5 books, and then finish this guy and get a little bit further into the Zodiac Academy series. Some of these books start getting really scary big though as we move forward. Like honestly, they look like they rival the Kingdom of Ash book in the Throne of Glass series, and that book is almost 1,000 pages. So I don't know if that's realistic or not, but the goal will be to try and finish the Ruthless Boys series this week, along with finishing this book in the 24-hour readathon, and then hopefully being able to tackle some of the other books from there. But just wanted to check in with you guys. I'm going to jump into reading this and I will get back to you. Bye. The Reckoning. So good. Okay, so here's my spiel. Okay, you guys are obviously experiencing this series with me, so I will probably continue with my reactions and emotions as I delve into the Ruthless Boys series, but this is the hardest thing I have had to do in a very, very, very long time. Let me just say, Zodiac Academy, the first book, was hard. I was like, why do people like this? Why is this a hit series? Like, what romance could possibly happen between these male characters and these female characters? And if they do, like, can I even respect our female lead characters? That's how bad the bullying was. I was crying, sobbing at the end of this book with how cruel these boys could be. And then you get book 2. And the thing about book 2 is you get the male's perspective. So you actually get to see that they aren't total and complete jackasses. It's just kind of like, quote unquote, the Fae way. I apologize for my language ahead of time in this video. I am so sorry. I know some words just popped out there that I should not be using, but that's just how angry these male characters made me in the first book. But you know, the second book, they're redeeming themselves just a smidge, just a tiny, tiny little bit. And then you get to the Reckoning. And the reckoning was excellent. The problem is the ending, the cliffhanger on the reckoning makes it so hard to walk away and move to another series. But let me tell you something. If you're looking for fall vibes, if you are looking for magic systems and schools and like just high stakes and enemies to lovers, that vibe, this is gonna give it to you. That shelf right there, that shelf, all of those bookaroos in this little shelf right here, they will give you enemies to lovers. Now this is apparently the next set, which I'm supposed to read in this series, which is the Ruthless Boys series. It's 5 books, and it's basically characters that are not directly associated with the first 3 books of Zodiac Academy. These characters are in play 5 years prior to Zodiac Academy. It is a vampire shifter who is our main female lead, and she is basically trying to figure out who killed her brother, and you are looking at the male being interested in this female character. There are 4 male characters all interested in the same girl, so slightly different vibe there. I've heard it's extremely spicy. I have not read it yet. Honestly, if the spice is as much as people are saying it is, there might be scenes that I skip, not gonna lie, depending on how intense it gets, especially with some of the spice scenes. But I think it will be interesting to read. So we're gonna battle my heart and not read the rest of Zodiac Academy. We're going to take a break and we're going to read this so that when I go back to Zodiac Academy and they refer to these characters, I will be okay with it. Now, one thing I do want to know is, can you read this before you read Zodiac Academy? Because to me, if this starts before Zodiac Academy, there's almost a part of me that's like, why wouldn't you just finish these 5 books and then read the Zodiac Academy? But everyone says you need to read the first 3 books of Zodiac Academy. Everyone and their mother on the internet says this, and they say it's because that's the best way to get introduced to Solaria. And my guess is it's because the 2 main female characters in that series, in the Zodiac series, they have been dropped off in the mortal world and they have no clue what their background is. So everything they learn about the school, everything they learn about the magic systems, everything they learn about Solaria as a world is brand new. So you're learning with them. So my guess is that's why you're supposed to read those 3 books first. But this video was supposed to be a 24-hour read-a-thon, what we read. I have 4 minutes left on the clock here. And I already have Dark Fae. You can see I have my 4 minutes left. We already have Dark Fae pulled up and ready to go. And so I'm gonna pop into that real quick. And then I will film final thoughts. I think I might actually be a little bit shy of 4 minutes if I'm being honest, because I was thinking about it and I did in the first video, I had set the timer for 12 hours and I ended up reading a total of 7 hours that day. I still had 5 hours left on the countdown clock, and then I added, what did I do after that? I added the rest of the hours on the clock, but I think I might have been an hour short. So either way, I'm gonna probably add another hour to this timer just so I'm not cheating, and then I'm gonna do an hour and 4 minutes of reading, and then I will get back to you guys. But we are gonna try our hand at this book. Now, I will say, once I finish these 5 books, I don't know if I want to jump straight back into Zodiac Academy. I've read 1 book in Vampire Academy. There are 6 books in that series, so I do want to try and get some of those books into. I have books that are coming up for the book clubs that I'm a part of as well, so I do have those discussion groups coming up and those books coming up, so I do want to be a part of that as well. And then obviously I have the books that have been selected for November for myself. But when I film the November TBR, do not be surprised if you see these books on that list. That being said, we still have a few more days left in October. It's only October 21st. We have 10 days left. And I think I could potentially finish all 5 of these books in those 10 days. I have completed all the books on my TBR for October, except for 2. 1 because it has not released yet, and I think realistically I'm probably gonna have to take it off the TBR and put it on for November because it's literally releasing on the 31st, and I'm at a work conference, so I don't know when I'm gonna have time to read that book, but it will be on the November TBR, and that is the new Throne of book that's coming out in the adult series spin-off from the young adult series Kingdom of the Wicked, which is one of my favorite series of all time. So I'm excited for that book, and I believe we're following Prince Gluttony in that one. So excited to read that standalone. And I believe the love interest is his nemesis reporter that is introduced in some of the Kingdom of the Wicked books. So that'll be an interesting read. So I will get to that eventually. And so that opens up some spots for the October reads. The only book that is left on that list outside of all the other books that I've finished for the month of October is the Filthy Rich Fae, which I promised my best friend I will read with her because we are attending this conference together. And so I will probably start that on the plane or when I'm with her. And then we're going to read Pumpkin Spice Cafe after that, just to give myself a little bit of a break from the intensity that is this series. But if you guys have made it this far, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for doing this journey with me. I haven't done a 24-hour like solid readathon in a short span of time in a very long time. I haven't done a true 24-hour readathon in a very long time, probably since I was like 14 or 15, just because life. Unless you count studying for finals in medical school, but I'm not really going to count that because that was more depressing study. But I might actually attempt to do a true 24-hour readathon in December. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. So I will be setting up a Christmas tree. We will be doing party vibes, so that's going to be fun. But stay tuned and I will hit you guys up. Bye. Okay. So officially have been reading for 24 hours. Also, guys, I can't do math. So the earlier clip where I said that I was definitely off on the time and I thought it was an hour, I actually calculated out the time that I had read. Because like I said, I didn't finish the full 12-hour countdown on that initial clock. And then the second clock that I did, I only did 13 hours. So as I'm sure many of you know, if you add 6 and 13 together, that is nowhere near 24 hours. So I added another 5 hours to that time frame so that we are actually hitting the number that we need to hit. So yes, we did successfully complete 24 hours, but that also gave me a little bit of extra time to finish reading. So I wanted to go through the books that we actually ended up reading in the full 24-hour period of time that I was reading. And I also wanted to show you guys this really cute bookmark that I am using right now. I just think it's so appropriate, especially for the books that I've currently been reading. But it says, as I'm sure you can see, I like my books spicy and my coffee icy, which is fair and true, as was shown throughout the course of this series. If you guys have made it to this point, thank you so much for sticking around with me. I know it's a long one, so I hope you guys got some good drinks, food, all that good stuff in there in the middle as needed, because I know this one did take some time to get through, so I appreciate you guys finishing out the ride with me. So to start off with, as I'm sure you guys saw, I did read The League of Gentlewoman Witches. I thought this book was pretty interesting. It was fun. It was fast-paced. It was quirky. The language is great. The banter was great. The story was great. The vibes was great. If you want Bridgerton combined with like magic elements, combined with like rogues and adventures and that type of perfect vibe. I just think this book was hilarious. You definitely do see a lot of two of the main characters from the first book in this series. So if you do want to read their story first, you absolutely can. They are technically standalones, but there's clearly going to be crossovers of the various characters in the different books. So up to you if you want to read them in order or not. I did not end up reading them in order. This book just called to me and spoke to me because it is October. Love the color, love the title, love the vibes. And when they said magic, I was all for it. And I was like, witchy, perfect, definitely for the holiday season. So I ended up reading this. This was a solid 4 stars for me. Loved this book, would recommend, and it's very atmospheric, very fun. And I would definitely say it's a great book if that's the vibes you're looking for. The next book that I ended up reading was this guy. Now, this is actually 5 books in one. They are short novellas that have been compiled together to make this massive book. It is a 5-book series following a serial killer who is a revenge serial killer seeking out justice for her and her brother after what the town did to them when they were children. And while she's on her killing spree, she happens to meet and fall in love with an FBI agent who also happens to be a serial killer profile on the team to hunt her down. So as you can imagine, very action-filled, very fun, very entertaining. Loved this book. Thought it was so good. Definitely sank my teeth into this and loved every second of it. Solid 5-star read for me. So perfect for the fall. So atmospheric. So good. Romance is great. Banter is great. It is definitely spicy. I wouldn't say it's the most spicy thing I've ever read, but it is definitely spicy. I would probably put it at a 3 chili-ish spice on a scale of 5. So there is quite a bit in there. It's also very graphic. So if you're not comfortable with darker topics, some of the things that are talked about are, wrongful accusations, shaming, rape, all kinds of dark topics are discussed in this book. So if that's not something that sits well in your stomach, don't read it. But it's done in a relatively classy way. Nothing is overtly thrown in your face, but there are definitely scenes that the author puts in there in order for you to better connect with the need for revenge from this serial killer. So there is that, but I would say overall the book is very well written. It was a lot of fun to read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is 683 pages, I believe. 683 pages, and I ate up every single second of it, and I finished in 2 days. So just great book. Definitely recommend. When we started this 24-hour journey, I was already about a third of the way through this book and about halfway through this book. So no, sorry, flip that. Third of the way through this book, halfway through this book. So it didn't take me too long to finish them. I know I had about 3 hours left of listening time on this. And I was listening to it at a 2.0 speed. And then this one I had probably about 3 to 4 hours worth of read time on this. So when both of these books were completed, I had completed about 6 to 7 hours of reading time on these 2 books, just so everyone knows for timeline. Then after that, a series that has been on my radar for quite some time now is the Zodiac Academy series. So I was like, I do want to read that. I ended up reading the first Zodiac Academy book. This was a 3-star book for me. The bullying did get to me. When they say it's a bully romance, it's truly a bully romance. The trope being enemies to lovers, but the entire story is about the male characters basically trying to beat down the 2 female characters, and they are mean, they are rude, they are aggressive, they are intense. So if that's not for you, don't read it, but I do swear that it gets better in the 2nd and 3rd books if you do choose to stay in this series. This is set in the world of Solaria, which is basically a fae world where they are elementals. They have certain classes associated with them, and once they have their power, basically they are fighting to show their level on the food chain. And these 2 girls are just randomly thrown into this world, and they're just like, oh, you're not actually mortal, you're fae. And not only are you fae, you are also some of the most powerful fae to ever exist, but you have no idea how to use your powers. You're also the princesses of the kingdom, and so we expect you to rise up and take your throne. But oh yeah, there's these 4 guys who are trained to rule, and they're going to do everything in their power to beat you down. That's basically what this book is. So read it with a grain of salt. Broke my heart at the end. Definitely bawled. And so when I finished this book, I was like, I need a break. So I actually ended up reading a book on my Nook, which I did not pull out for this particular video, so I'm going to show it to you on my phone. But I ended up reading 12. Now, I don't know if anyone is familiar with Jennifer Lynn Barnes, but she is one of my all-time favorite authors. Absolutely love her writing style. I think she does a great job with the books that she writes. 12 is actually a novella that goes with the Natural series, which is basically a series about these teenagers who have been through traumas in their life that have heightened certain senses, that the FBI then uses them to use those senses to crack cold cases. And it's very, very interesting, very fun read. And so this is set 5 years after that program is over and they are being pulled back on a case. You get to see a little bit of every character, you get a little bit of everyone. And I'm sorry, they do end up catching a serial killer in this little novella too. So it was really fun to read. Definitely perfect for the spooky vibe and a good palate cleanser after Zodiac Academy, because trust me, I needed it. So that was 12, and I ended up reading this while I was getting my nails done. So that took about an hour to an hour and a half to finish this book. Also, just so you know, these books flew by because I was listening to them at 3.5 because I was physically holding this book and reading it while listening to the audiobook. So it was very easy for me to listen to it at a faster speed. Then after that, we ended up reading the Ruthless Fae book. This is the second book in the Zodiac Academy series. This is a 23 book series if you decide to get into this. It's 3 interconnected series. You have the Zodiac Academy series, which is a separate series. Then you have the Ruthless Boys, which is Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, which is a completely different series of 5 books, which is following a main female character, 4 male characters, and it is 1 female, 4 male relationship situation going on there. So it is a reverse harem selection of books. Those 5 books predate this book, but in order to have a better understanding of the magic systems, the class systems, the world of Solaria, it is probably better to read these 3 books. And I'm saying that with a very heavy heart because it took everything in my power to stop reading these 3 books and jump into the Ruthless Boy series. But the Ruthless Boy series is completely different characters set 4 years prior to this series happening, 4 or 5 years, one of those two, before this series starts, just to give you guys timeline. So Ruthless Fae was really fun to read because you finally get to see the twins stand up to the bullies and do it in their own way. And that was really fun to read. So I really did enjoy this. You also start seeing a little bit more of the romance spark between the quote unquote bullies and the main female leads. And you can kind of understand their relationships a little bit better, where there's definitely that fae, animalistic, like antagonizing behavior, and there's definitely that enemies component, but you can also see the begrudging respect that's starting to grow between the different character sets. So I did enjoy the Ruthless Fae book. I think this one was a 4-star for me. I did enjoy this a lot more than the Zodiac Academy. Then after that, ended up reading The Reckoning. Now, I loved this book. This book is basically the week that the girls have to go through their trials to fully get their powers. And it's also when they finally figure out their order that they're a part of. It also has a lot of like political intrigue to it. There's a lot more going on in the plot. There's more than just like, oh, the enemies component and the bullying that's going on an academic level. So like if I had to compare this to Harry Potter, I would say it's like the 3rd book in Harry Potter where like you finally have something happening with the main evil character making a true comeback, if you know what I mean. Like setting the stage for the darker books in the series, but also the more intense books in the series. So this is that transitionary book. I would say this is the one where like if you love this book, you know you're going to finish this series. And that's what happened with me. I fell in love with this book. I enjoyed this book. The cliffhanger at the end of this book took everything in me to put this book aside to go read the other series. But I did end up reading this. This was a solid like 4.5 stars for me. I wouldn't quite call it a 5-star read, but it was definitely 4.5. It was definitely up there. Thoroughly enjoyed this. And then last but not least, read Dark Fae. I hated this book. I'm just going to put it out there. This is a 2-star read for me. There's parts of it that was interesting. There were parts of it that was cool. I hate the main female lead. I think she's super irritating and angsty and just annoying. The male characters leave a lot to be redeemed. I mean, I do think they're nicer than the guys in the Zodiac series, but there's just less for me to grasp onto. And I thought this first book in particular was very boring. It's following characters in the lower end area of Solaria, one of the like gang filled like mob poor area, and there's a school called Aurora Academy, which is like Zodiac but definitely not like the elite of Zodiac. It's definitely like on the lower end spectrum in terms of the richness, if you will, of it. And Aurora Academy basically has like the sons and daughters of all the high level crime lords, basically, as well as some of the poorer students that are coming in potentially on scholarship. It's definitely got some bullying aspects to it too, but it's less like Mean Girls and less bullying than the original Zodiac series are. It's more light, it's more fun, but basically the main character is trying to figure out how her brother died. So it's a whodunit kind of series, and then you also have the male reverse harem situation going on as well. I'm just not a fan of our main female lead yet. I'm not really a fan of any of the male characters. I found this story very dry, very boring. It was difficult for me to grasp it. But that being said, it is the first book. And I also did not like the Awakening, which was the first book in the Zodiac series, but I ended up loving the other two. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen with this, that as I get further into the series, it gets a little bit better. The cliffhanger at the end of this one was like, okay, I guess I'm open to seeing what happens next, if you know what I mean. So I will be continuing the series, but that's kind of where we left off. So in 24 hours altogether, we read a total of 6 actual books. Well, four books in completion, and then 2 books where I was like partially through them, and then 1 novella. So that's all the books that I was able to get through. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you are interested in seeing another 24-hour readathon, then definitely leave a comment below. For those of you who are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining me. If books are your ish, then you're definitely in the right place. I put out videos every Sunday and Wednesday, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely consider hitting that subscription button and that notification bell. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for joining me. If any of these books struck your fancy, or if you want to see any other specific books read in a 24-hour readathon, or like if you want any books reviewed, please leave a comment below. If you have any of these books on your TBR shelf, if you've read them yourself, if you have thoughts, if you have anything that would motivate me to continue with the Ruthless Boys series, then definitely let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much, my lovelies, for joining me and hanging out with me until the end of this video. I know it was a long one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.